Guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're in full review season.
Yeah.
We've got a few of the companies are using the fall to launch products now. We know that traditionally January at the PGA show for most companies has been when they launch the new product lines. But there has been in recent years a bit of a trend of, some of the sort of smaller companies, if you want to call them that, being Mizuno and Ping and Titleist, have kind of adopted this fall launch.
Right.
To try and, I guess get a bit more airtime for the products that they're deserving.
And after we had been to the show this January, seeing how big the Callaway and TaylorMade booths were and how much attention they got, I can see why Mizuno would do that, because it's just too much.
There's just so much kind of buzz and marketing dollars spent by those two big companies in particular.
Yep.
And that's fine. That's how they get their message out there and obviously how they drive their market share up. But I think it's such a smart idea by these companies to sort of introduce new product in the fall. And by the way, a little side note to that is, I think this is one of the best times of the year to test new product.
You said that a couple videos ago.
Yeah. I really do. I believe that the fall, while you're still sort of in, the kind of mid-season mode, you've been playing, you're not rusty in any way, shape or form, your game is probably as good as it's going to get.
Very true.
This is a great time to test, rather than coming in January and February and you haven't swung for a few months. And often when our customers come in here, this is the first time they've had a chance to hit balls for several weeks or months.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. I even found that when we've been testing lately that I feel a little bit more, I guess, in the groove this time of year. You're not kind of tinkering as much.
Definitely.
So it is a great time to buy a set of irons, surprisingly. It's not what people would think, but it's not a bad time at all.
Not bad at all. And, you want to, use that off season. I always say it to people to sort of bed in some new products and don't do all in May and June, July, because by the time you get used to it, the seasons, especially where we're from, it's getting ready to come to a close.
Kind of rounds out. It's true.
It's a short season for us. We've got 5-6 months, and you want to have that time honing your game rather than really getting used to your equipment. So, little side note to what we're doing here, but we've chosen an iron, and I said to Matt, I really wanted to do this as a standalone test. I didn't want to compare it to other irons. I didn't want to compare it to anything else because I really wanted the emphasis just to be on the performance of the new 919 Hot Metal by Mizuno.
Yep.
So we got to try this about a month ago, along with obviously the new 919 Tour. Yep. The new 919 Forged, and obviously the Hot Metal completes the line. And I've been a big fan of, from the 800 JPX, the 850s, the 900 Hot Metals, and this is kind of the next evolution, but it's by far the best one they've ever done.
You kind of hinted to me that you think this may end up being sort of your favorite of 2018.
In terms of the game improvement irons, I'm quite happy to go out and a bit of a limb here and say that this is the best I've tested in a long, long time.
That's saying something.
So it kind of get all the characteristics. I think the thing I like about it so much is it's got kind of Mizuno DNA in a game improvement package.
Yep, that's a good way of putting it.
And that's a pretty deadly combo.
I mean, Mizuno irons look as good as anything else by far, and they feel arguably better or as good as anything else. So if this is for those that want to play Mizunos, but they can't play a little sort of compact blade.
They don't get the benefits of that smaller head shape, and I think that's why the JPX line, I really like it. The sporty, slightly kind of techier iron line that Mizuno have that sort of runs alongside and parallel to the MP line, which is very traditional and really has the kind of the organic nature of Mizuno, which is that MP line that dates back, it's legendary status, isn't it? Yeah. But the JPX line gives them a whole different sort of strategy towards improvement.
I think this is them getting into some different aspects of the market where they can get a bit more market share, because there's only so many people that are going to play a narrow sold cavity or blade. Yeah. And now they can compete with bigger irons, M3 and Callaway Apex and all those. And
they can really be a force. Yeah. Well, let's dig into the tech sort of behind it. So it's not forged,
which is surprising to me. I was kind of shocked that they didn't forge it.
It's the only iron in the range that is not forged. Right. So all the other ones are. But they have been mindful of the feel elements. So they've used a material called chromoly.
Right.
Chromalloy. Chromalloy.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah, chromalloy. I always get those two mixed up. Chromalloy, and that's a softer feeling cast iron head.
So they've cast it, but they've used a material that's softer than most castings.
Feels much softer, and I think when you sort of hit them, you'll certainly get a feel for that.
100%. Yeah, they didn't feel like. I mean, I've hit G400 and all these other ones. It's a lot nicer feeling than those, no question.
The acoustics, I think, is part of what we would want to talk about when it comes to that feeling. It doesn't have that high-pitched click that some of these other game improvement irons have. I mean, whether you're talking Callaway Rogue, TaylorMade M4, that type of thing, where you kind of get that high-pitched click. This doesn't have that.
It's very solid feeling. It feels similar to their other irons. I mean, it would be hard pressed for you to drastically depart it from the blades in the MP series. Obviously not quite as nice, but to achieve something, it's a pretty wide-soled iron. There's a lot going on back here technology-wise, and we'll see what it's capable of. But for them to be able to make something that feels that good, probably the only ones that have done that so far. No one else has really touched it.
Yeah, I don't think. I think you're absolutely right. I'm trying to think if there's another iron out there that feels and looks as good as.
Because i500, I think we thought was going to be that. I think i500 looks as good.
Yeah. But
it didn't feel quite as good as we expected. I think it feels okay.
Feels okay.
This is a better feeling iron for sure.
Absolutely. I 100% thought that when I hit it. And an i500 is a bit smaller, so. This one is a slightly larger kind of footprint, a little bit more real estate to deal with. So it's very, very forgiving. And part of that is, again, they've went with the stronger lofts.
Yep.
So the stock loft is 26.
So quite strong.
Quite strong, but the wider sole, so the way they've kind of hollowed out the back is to really lower the CG on the iron.
You can just, by looking at it, see all the mass is kind of right here low. And on the toe section, does it make sense that they pushed it out that way?
It does, it absolutely does. It just increases the sort of, increases the sweet spot across the face. Okay. So the ball speed maintenance across the face.
If you miss it toe or, and I definitely missed a couple on the toe that went like a rocket.
And that's your miss a little bit, isn't
100%.
it? We know that, but there really wasn't much of a drop off when we look at the numbers.
No.
There's not much of a drop off in ball speed at all.
No. So they've definitely achieved the forgiveness that I think. I can see why you're leaning towards this probably being one of the best, because feel is so important. You're investing a lot of your own money to get some. You don't want to hit every shot going, that kind of feels funky. So feel-wise, really good. Forgiveness, we've seen it's really good. Now we'll look at the numbers and we'll see what they've achieved and how far the ball can actually go.
Definitely. Well, I think this iron, just thinking of the balls that we've been testing recently, these kind of softer compression golf balls, if you pair up this iron with
that's a good point.
AVX or Project A or Chrome Soft, I mean, it's going to feel as soft as any iron does in the marketplace if you pair it up with the right golf ball.
Yep.
Because
not using a Pro V1X or something firm.
Yeah, you're using that, and a ball that has a clickier sort of feel. So
that's true.
You can kind of get the best of both worlds. Let's dig over into the numbers and see what you got. So I think let's start with standardizing your numbers.
Yes, for sure.
Right, so your ball speed, Matty, is normally around, 134, 135?
Yes, definitely.
So on the testing here, we had 139.5.
Yeah, so a big jump. Almost like a club difference in ball speed?
Yeah, I would say about a club difference in ball speed for sure.
And we're not talking about a club aloft either, because these are only a degree or two stronger than mine.
They're two stronger than yours, yeah. So these are 26, yours are 28.
Right.
So, and the key to that, guys, is, you've probably heard us talk about this recently, especially on the i500 test, the power versus standard versus retro lofts. The fact that this is don't shy away from this iron because it's 26 degrees and you think you'll hit it too low.
You're far from it.
Far from it.
You will not hit it too low.
I mean, so with the CG location being lower, the ball speed being higher, Matty hit this an apex of 120 feet.
Yeah, and
that's higher than you normally hit your own irons.
By what, 20 feet?
Yeah, easy.
And I hit a few really good ones, 130 feet.
Yeah.
Like just moon ball, like rockets. But they were great, not too high spinning. So it's not like you're going to lose yardage in the wind, but your stopping power with that amount of height is so good.
Absolutely fantastic. Your ball was coming down at 48 degrees land angle.
Again, steeper than mine.
Really, really good. Yeah. So, I think there are so many people out there that can benefit from A, more ball speed, B, slightly higher, and C, forgiveness on the off-center strikes.
100%. Very stable feeling. Oh, I know. Crazy good. And I think The fact that this actually seems to spin a decent amount, because again, I'm not someone who puts a ton of spin on the ball, as we know, and this is a strong lofted club. To get 5,300, I know people may look at that as low. It's actually quite high. I was expecting to see it like at 4 or something like that. So I don't think this is a P790 where it's just giving you distance because it's all low spin. I think it seems to be generating tons of ball speed and good launch, and that's where the distance is coming from.
I think they've done such a good job of engineering this set of irons, bringing that CG so low that the launch and spin are sort of managed or sort of engineered correctly. Obviously, they're going to have the firmer sort of the firmer material is going to create a little bit of ball speed. The stronger loft is going to create a little bit of ball speed, and the super thin face that's on this is going to create more ball speed. So on all aspects, you're going to get a little bit more, jump off of this. And if you're someone who's feels like they're losing a bit of distance and kind of, you've looked at some other game improvement irons, but they're not really for you. You don't really want to go to that kind of iron that sacrifices the feel. This is your answer.
I totally agree. I mean, is the top line super thin? No. But it's definitely thinner than competitors. I would say that comfortably. And I think the way they've kind of beveled this back edge, it's tough to see on camera, but the trailing edge here, it makes it look thinner than it probably actually is.
Definitely.
Offset-wise, not offensive, I would say. I mean, there's more offset, but I think overall, this is so much better looking than all the other game improvement irons and better feeling, and clearly flies just as well. I think it's, as you say, it's going to be hard for another company to beat this in that category.
Probably the iron that comes closest to me to feeling quite good and has all of these things in a package is probably the PXG 0311XF.
Yeah, you like those, don't you? Yeah.
It's quite a good iron, but obviously this is a third of the price. So that's not nothing.
No.
You can buy 3 of these irons for the price of one of those other ones. So
get one for the Florida home or something.
So in terms of getting value for money, in terms of performance, this is just a winner, absolutely all round. Some of the things Mizuno have been really smart with how they've engineered this as well. Some of the things that you sacrifice when you make an iron of this design, it's kind of adjustability, customization. They've been so smart as to how they've designed it and removed quite a lot of material from the hosel. You guys can see how much material they've removed in there. That again is engineering towards being able to move the loft and lies, a little bit more. So you're not having to just move it 1 or 2 degrees and feel like you're struggling to move it. These are very adjustable.
So for you in fittings, this will be a much easier one to go to. You won't have to, for the guy who needs them 4 up, maybe this is something you can actually do.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal. And I think the more we learn about that and the influence of lie angles, I think the more people are going to go to fittings asking, I want to try a game improvement iron, but I need to be able to bend it.
Definitely.
And so they've it's amazing with a cast head that they've been able to do that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. So they've engineered the feel, the look, the forgiveness, and the customization element. And as a club fitter for me, when I'm recommending an iron, to be honest, most of the time I'm recommending an iron that's adjustable, because if you change your swing, you need some adjustability. I want you to have that so you can have the irons for a long time.
That's very true.
If you don't have the ability to adjust it, then I don't really think that's a versatile iron.
No, it's something that's temporary versus something that will last you.
I believe so.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. Now talk to me quickly about, because people will look at this and say high handicap iron.
Right.
I don't think that's the case. I think someone who's a lower to mid handicap, just depending on the ball flight that they're looking to achieve, could easily find that these are a good fit.
I mean, I would say just try to think about it, about the benefits of this club and does your game need those benefits?
Right.
Would you benefit from higher, further, more forgiveness? Maybe if you're a lower handicap, but the ball striking's a weaker part of your game.
Gotcha.
And if you had fewer mishits and you hit the green, a couple more times around rather than falling short or falling wide, would that help you lower your score? Because ultimately that's what we're trying to do here is to shoot a lower score. So if those types of characteristics would help you, this is a good iron for you. And if ball striking's a real strength of yours and you want to be able to maneuver it and that type of thing.
Low ones and stuff.
Maybe something, maybe one of the other from the line are good. but you know, that's who I think this iron is made for.
Make a good long iron blended set though, if you had these kind of 4, 5, 6 maybe, and then MPs and the other ones.
You guys may have seen, we've talked a little bit about over the past few months about when we're gapping irons,
yes.
And we're looking for a consistent apex. And then when we're mapping out the irons and the peak heights are very similar, and there's the point in the long irons where it dips a little bit, and that's the only point in the bag. That's where something like this would be great. You know, it has the lower CG to launch it a little bit higher, and then you don't get that lower apex. You get the kind of steeper land angle, so you've got the control the whole way through.
For your longer par 3s and par 4s where you need those shots.
For those guys who trap it a little bit and kind of do struggle to flight long irons.
Very true.
I think that'd be a really good time to introduce these.
Yeah, and if you are someone who does occasionally miss-hit one badly, it could be the difference between taking a penalty on a par 3 with a forced carry. Like you're going to get whatever, 80, 90% of your distance versus a blade that may actually just fall off the map in terms of a strike. Yeah, these are definitely going to be one to watch.
They're one to watch. They'll probably hit most people's hot list very soon, guys. I would get out, if you're interested in a game improvement iron that's going to add some yards, easier to hit it a bit higher, these are one to seek out, that's for sure, the 919 Hot Metal.
Awesome.
Get out there and give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, Mizuno are just about to launch a new version of their DNA shaft fitting system.
Yeah, we get questions about that quite a bit.
It's good for sort of measuring tempo and load and all these sorts of things. I think it's a good way for fitters to kind of shortcut the sort of interpretation of the role the shaft is playing. I think it's good, so I'm really keen to you know, chat with Mizuno when this new DNA system comes out to see what it's all about. And you know, we're always trying to add sort of you know, things in here that will allow us to do our job better, and it'll be interesting to map that to gears.
That's true.
And kind of see if it measures what we measure in terms of load and energy transfer and stuff in the shaft.
Yeah, that's going to be something to look out for. Fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Guys, I hope you know, you've enjoyed sort of a little rundown on this guy. We really you know, think this is going to be one of the top irons for next year. And, you know, Mizuno keep their irons for, you know, for a couple of years in their lineup.
Which is nice. If you've spent a bunch of money, it's nice to see them not get replaced. Yeah, I mean, they really have spent a lot of time in this one, so they should keep it for a few years. And you know, there's nothing going to supersede that in the next little while. You know, that definitely is going to be as good as anything else in its category. So very good.
We'll see how it goes. Guys, leave your comments. Let us know if you've actually been out and tried it. You know, if you've got any comments, if you know, you've experienced it and actually been out and tried some, let us know. Maybe someone's been out there and got a set so far. Love to hear what people think of it. That's true. Maybe what people think about the feel specifically. If you've tried them, I'd be interested to see if that's share that. Yeah, because you've thought the same thing I did. Absolutely. I think that'll be very, very important. Awesome. Good. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.